פרק ג', משנה א', first Mishnah, third chapter. ביאור משנה א', there's an introduction. כתוב בפרשת חג הסוכות, it is written in the portion of Sukkot, ולקחת לכם ביום הראשון, and you should take to you on the first day, פרי עץ הדר, a fruit of a tree, הדר, which looks good, כפות תמרים, palm branches, וענף עץ אבות, and a branch of a tree which is thick, you see what it is, וערבי נחל, and ערבי נחל means trees that on the river. ושמחתם לפני השם אלוקיכם 7 ימים, and you should be happy in front of your God for 7 days. So what are these 4 species? כותב הרמב"ם, the Rambam writes, פרי עץ הדר, a fruit who is on the fruit of the tree which is nice. היינו אתרוג. He says, this is what? This is an etrog. And he learns it over there, if you want to look over there. It says, Hadar also comes from Hadar kol hashana. He lives on the tree the entire year. Kapot marim, palm branches, and chariyot shel dekel, these are palms. כשיצמחו, when they grow, קודם שיתפרדו העלים. Before the leaves spread out. So they're still together. לכאן ולכאן, to this way and this way. אלא כשיהיה כמו שרביט, הוא נקרא לולב. When it looks like a stick, then it is called lulav. ענף עץ אבות. What's the ענף עץ אבות? The tree that is thick. הוא ההדס. This is the myrtle. שעליו חופים את עצו. What is it called עץ אבות? Because the leaves cover the branch completely. The leaves cover the branch. Yeah, so you don't see the branch, you just see the leaves. ערבי נחל, what does ערבי נחל? אינן כל דבר הגדל על נחל. It's not any tree that grows on the river, אלא מין ידוע הוא, it's a known kind, it's a known species, הנקרא ערבי נחל. It's called willow. אלא עלה שלו משוך כנחל, he's got a shape of the leaves which are long, ופיו חלק, וקנה שלו אדום. And he's smooth, and the branches are red. וזהו הנקרא ערבה. And this is why it's called willow. ורוב מין זה גדל על נחלים. And most of the time you would find them by the rivers. לכך נאמר ערבי נחל. But sometimes it's not by the rivers. It's not that you have to take it from the river. Anywhere it goes, but usually it goes by the river. וכל הדברים האלה, and all these 4 things, how do we know this? You know, פרי עץ הדר can be an orange. How do you know what it is? מפי השמועה, ממשה רבנו התפרשו. Moshe came down the mountain, he read them the verse, they told Moshe, hey, what does this verse mean? We don't know what are the kinds. So he told me, this is this, this is this, this is this. 4 מינים אלו מצווה אחת הן. These 4 kinds are 1 commandment. What does it mean, the 1 commandment? ומעכבים זה את זה. If you don't have one, you don't have none. There's no point in taking an etrog and doing something with it, if you don't have the other 3. And there's no point of taking the etrog, the lulav, and the hadas. If you have all 3, you don't have the arava, there's no point in doing that either. It's not like tefillin. For example, in tefillin, if you don't have the hand tefillin, you should put on the head tefillin. If you don't have the head tefillin, you should put on the hand tefillin. Yeah, one doesn't have to do with another. I mean, you should put both, but you can do every mitzvah is independent. Over here, if you don't have something, you don't have the whole thing. Don't bother. Yeah. וכולם נקראים, it's 1 mitzvah. You have to take everybody together. וכולם נקראים מצוות לולב. And they are all called the commandment of lulav. פרק זה עוסק בהלכות 4 המינים. This chapter is going to deal with the laws of the lulav. משנתנו פותחת בדיני הלולב. So we're going to start with the laws of lulav. לולב הגזול. A person who stole a lulav. והיבש, or a dry lulav, pasul, is not kosher for the mitzvah.
Stolen or dry?
Stolen or dry. Yeah. בגמרא מבואר, in the Gemara it explains, שלולב הגזול פסול. It says, why is stolen lulav not kosher? It says, לכאורה, if I stole tefillin and I put on tefillin, did I do a mitzvah?
Yeah.
I did a mitzvah. Maybe I'm going to get punished for stealing them or whatever, but I put on tefillin. What do you want from me? Why over here I didn't do the mitzvah? So he says, שלולב הגזול פסול משום שנאמר ולקחתם לכם. It says ולקחתם לכם. In tefillin, it doesn't say the word לכם. So what's the difference? ודרשו לכם, and they said לכם משלכם. You have to own it. You have to be the owner of it. ולא הגזול. And if you stole it, it's not yours. You didn't do the mitzvah. In other words, I can do the mitzvah with your tefillin, but I cannot do the mitzvah with your lulav. ואפילו, but it says, hey, 1 second, we learned the laws. We didn't learn yet, but we're going to learn the laws of stealing. And when you steal something, there's a concept called yeush, that the guy gave up. He gave up on the concept. So he knows he's not going to get it. You're so strong, so once he gave up on the things, either he doesn't look for it, or he knows you're not going to get it back. Yeah, it's called yeush, and from that moment it becomes yours. It becomes the person's. No, it's mine. If the guy gave up, it's mine. Yeah, I'm allowed to take it. I'm not allowed to. I have to get it back but it's not his anymore. Yeah. ואפילו לאחר שנתייאשו הבעלים, it says even after the owners gave up. Why? שנמצא לולב שלו, because according to plain halacha, now the lulav is mine. Maybe I owe him the money, but the lulav is mine. שקנה אותו בייאוש, because you bought it when the person gave up on it. מכל מקום, from the Torah, you might be okay. But the rabbis over here come and said, we're going to make sure you're not going to be yotze over here. פסלו מדרבנן. The Rabbanan says not kosher. You didn't do the mitzvah. שמצווה נעשת בדבר הגזול היא מצווה הבאה בעבירה. Because this is from the rabbis, it's called the mitzvah that comes through a sin, and therefore you didn't do the mitzvah. And we're going to say, it's not a mitzvah.
So, but according to this also tefillin.
If they did it. If they said it on tefillin. They didn't say it on tefillin, they said it on lulav.
But in Iceland.
Yeah. I don't know.
The lulav, so.
Yeah. It's possible that they're going to say on tefillin also. Okay. We're going to learn when we get to that.
למה I learned? Because mitzvah בא בעבירה.
Yeah.
אומרים, any mitzvah.
Yeah. Okay. But on lulav specifically they say that. Okay. We don't know the rules for, ולולב היבש פסול. Okay, so far we understand why לולב הגזול פסול. It needs to be yours. Over here, it's not yours. And even if it is yours, according to the Torah, the rabbi says, no. We're going to take it away from you. Why? Because it comes through a sin. Okay. So that's good. Next one. Lulav hayavesh pasul. Lulav that is dry is also pasul. So it says why? Where did it say that lulav is not allowed to be dry? It says lulav. It doesn't say dry or not dry. So it says lefi she'eino hadar. So it says... but it says the hadar goes on what? On pri etz hadar, on the etrog. It doesn't go on the lulav. Let's see. לפי שאינו הדר, ולמדים בהיקש מאתרוג. Just like the etrog has to be hadar, has to be nice, we learn it that all the 4 species have to be nice. שגם בשאר המינים צריך הדר. We learn everybody, since you put them all together, you have hadar on the etrog, you have hadar in all of them. So we learned lulav הגזול and היבש is not kosher. של אשרה. What about if some Arab came and started bowing down to this tree, this specific tree, and now you need branches from the tree. Are you allowed to take the branches that somebody thinks it's a god? Yeah. של אשרה. לולב של אילן שעובדים אותו לשם עבודה זרה. This is a lulav from a tree that people are worshipping as an idol worship. And what's the role for that things? שדינו בשריפה. It says you're not allowed to get any enjoyment out of this kind of tree. You need to burn it. ושל עיר הנידחת. What happens if the lulav stays by an עיר הנידחת? What's an עיר הנידחת? עיר ישראל, it's a Jewish city, שרוב אנשיה הודחו לעבוד עבודה זרה. That the majority of the people in that city started doing idol worship. שנאמר מה? What's so special about such a city? It says in such a city, הכה תכה את יושבי העיר. It says you have to destroy the inhabitants of the city, לפי חרב, you have to kill them. ושרפת באש את העיר ואת כל שלה. And you're not allowed to loot the city. You have to burn all the possessions of the city. Don't get enjoyment out of it. Yeah? So also these two things, a lulav from such a city or a lulav that was idol worshipped, pasul. It's also not kosher. It says, why? Where did you get to that it's not kosher? לפי שהלולב צריך שיעור, because we're going to learn that the lulav needs a certain measurement. Needs a certain measurement. We're going to see what the measurement is soon. ולולב של השירה ושל עיר הנידחת, and a lulav of an idol worship or of a city that worshipped idols, הואיל והוא עומד לשריפה, since, because it is necessary to burn it, which means it is necessary for it not to have a measurement. It's necessary for it not to have a measurement. הרי זה כאילו אינצ'ור קיים. It is as if he doesn't have a measurement, because that's the status of it. God says, this shouldn't have a measurement. So you should treat it as it doesn't have a measurement, even though right now he does. שהעומד לסברה הרי כשרוף, because something that is about to get burnt, we consider it as if it is burnt. Finished. Next part. נקטם ראשו. What happens if the top of the lulav got cut off? You still have the measurement, but the top is not good. The top is gone. נקצץ ראשו של הלולב. The head of the lulav got cut. ונמצא שאינו הדר. So what's the problem? The first problem, now it's not beautiful. Beautiful means that it's nice. או נפרצו עליו. Or the leaves are starting to open up. They're going like this now. יש מפרשים שנתלשו העלים מן השדרה לגמרי. There's two explanations from that. Some says that the leaves are completely removed from the stalk, from the branch itself. ואוגדם עימה. And you know, the breaking point with it, everything. ויש מפרשים שנתלשו העולים מן השדרה ועדיין תלויים בה. And the other says, no, they're still hanging, but it's just like on the sides. ויש מבארים, and the other who says, שנחלקו העלים לאורכם, כדרך שחותכים אותם לעשות מהם סלים. And some says, like you know when you make it, like when we make the thing, that's what happened. Yeah? So whichever one of those three things, then what's the halacha? It's pasul. Pasul, again, why? It's not hadar. We have a problem with hadar. Halulav. נפרדו עליו זה מזה כענפי הדקל. So this is if it's a little bit starting to go off, כשר למצוות לולב, then it is still kosher for the commandment of lulav. And Rabbi Yehuda אומר, once it's starting to separate, yeah, ours, when we, remember, the way we do it, it's completely bonded. But once they start to separate, Rabbi Yehuda אומר, it's still kosher, once they start to separate, but I have a solution, what you should do. What should you do? Rabbi Yehuda אומר, יאגדנו מלמעלה. Rabbi Yehuda says, tie it in the top. Yep, tie it in the top, so it's not going to become like this. אם נפרדו העלים, if the leaves starting to separate, אין הלולב כשר, אלא אם כן יאגדם עם שדרת הלולב. It says, once they separate, it's not good, but that's the fact that they separate doesn't make the lulav not kosher. You can still make it kosher by tying it on the top. ואין הלכה כרבי יהודה. And the Rav halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda, that it is kosher even though the leaves are separated. Tzinei har habarzel. This is lulavim on the mountain of steel. What's the lulavim on the mountain of steel? Lulavim hagdelim behar habarzel. This is lulavim, palm trees that grow in the mountain of steel. What is the mountain? Yesh sovrim shu makom liad ha'arnon. Some says it's a place next to Arnon. I have no idea where Arnon is. ולפי גמרא הוא בגיא בן הינום. According to the Gemara, it is in the valley of Ben Hinnom. Okay. ויש מפרשים, there are those who explains, דקלים קשים, this is palm trees who are hard, הגדלים בהרים, that are grow in the mountains. What's the difference? It says they look different. What's the looks? שעליהם קצרים מאוד. Usually a lulav is very long. By these ones, the thing is shorter and the leaves are shorter. You know how each leaf is over here? The leaves are shorter. So it's you have a leaf here, you have a leaf here, and you have a leaf here like this. וגם אינם גדלים לכל אורך שדרת הלולב. And they don't cover the entire stalk. You know, it's a little, from here and over here it continues. Okay? כשרות, it's still kosher. Because that's a lulav. ובגמרא אמרו, and the Gemara says, when do we say it's kosher? It's not kosher in any manner. לא שנו, it's only kosher, אלא שראשו של זה מגיע לצד עיקרו של זה. It's only kosher when the head of the bottom leaf gets to the main part of the leaf above it. Because sometimes it's just the stalk and there's nothing else in between. So then it's not kosher at all. ראשו של עלה שלמטה מגיע לעיקר שעלה שלמעלה ממנו. So if it's, for example, if this is the leaves, if they go like this, then it's kosher. But if it goes like this is the next leaf, and then it's not kosher. Okay? אבל אני חושב שמגיע שאתה מצא שקורה. לולב שיש בו 3 טפחים, a lulav needs the minimum. Now we're going to get the minimum of a lulav. It needs 3 tfachim. 1, 2, 3. But this much lulav. That's all you need. That's kosher. כשיעור ההדס, this is the measurement of the hadas, which is, I think, is the smallest one of the 3. כדי לנענע בו, it's enough to shake it. בגמרא מגיעים כאן, וכדי לנענע בו, in order to shake it. כלומר שיש בלולב 3 טפחים. It means that the lulav has to have 3 טפחים, באופן שההדס והערבה מכסים אותו, in a manner that the myrtle and the willow cover it. ועוד טפח נוסף. So it needs one more טפח. In other words, when you hold it and you can see 3 טפחים from the other ones, then it's kosher. In other words, 4 טפחים. Needs to have 4 טפחים. כדי לנענע בו, שכן מצווה לנענע בלולב, because you have a commandment to shake the lulav, and the lulav is 3 טפחים of hadas, all the 3 together. כשר למצוות לולב. All of these are kosher for the mitzvah of lulav.